Hello, beautiful souls. It's Emily with Twins in Union. And I want to start by saying thank you all for your subscribes, your likes, your wonderful comments. I so appreciate it, and I just always love connecting with you guys. Like I mentioned in my last video I did, I have been guided to start doing more teaching kind of style videos in addition to doing the readings. And I invited you guys to share any of your questions or things that you wanted to learn more about with me. And I had some really wonderful questions and topics. So I just want to say thank you guys for coming and connecting with me and sharing, what you would like to learn more about. So I had a really great question from a viewer, and I felt guided to start with this particular question. Why can't twin flames do their healing work in union? And this is such a great question, because our connection with our twin is so healing and so just energizing and nurturing. Just being in their presence is healing for us. And, just a simple touch from our twin is very healing for us. So it seems like, it would make sense that we would do our healing work in union because it is such a healing connection. And, I really believe that we are wired to be in union, that God created us to want to be with our twin. We are wired for union, and that is part of what really keeps us motivated to stay on the journey is because at our very core essence of our soul, we want to be with our twin, and we are wired to be together. So, it seems very contradictory sometimes when we think about it. Why do we have this beautiful, amazing, divine love, soul connection with someone, but it's so challenging to just get to union? And there is, a bigger picture here, and that is part of what I'm going to share with you today. And so I have my handy dandy whiteboard here, which I immediately realized when I started, wanting to get my bullet points out that I need to get a much bigger whiteboard. This is way too small. I underestimated the size of my whiteboard, but I think this will give us a good start. And I really hope that you guys can read that okay, but I will be going through all of it. And, hopefully you can see it okay. And like I said, I will be getting a larger whiteboard for future teaching a Q&A kind of videos. So bear with me. I'm refining and tweaking everything. So, but yeah, so I've got some things laid out here. I, was awake at 4 a.m. one morning with like all these downloads of information in response to this question. So I just really felt guided to start here. So yeah, so why can't twins do their healing work in union, especially when we are designed to be in union? What's the deal? And so I had, a few key things come up in response to this. And, the number one reason being, looking at the bigger picture. This is a huge universal divine mission. And it is much, much, much bigger than we are. Our union isn't there just for us. Our union is there for, the whole universe. It's so much bigger, and that's part of the beauty of it is that it is so bigger and it transcends, you know, us. It transcends this planet. It transcends time and space. It's huge. So we have to keep in mind that our union is a universal divine mission that is impacting, you know, much, much more than just, you know, you and your twin. And it's a two-part mission. So the first part of the mission is, you know, the breaking down of the old template. And that is where we see a lot of, you know, the activation happening, where you and your twin will start to bring up all of the stuff that needs to be healed. And, you know, the breakdown part of, you know, is like the first phase or the first part of this mission. And that's where we really have, you know, our twin flame awakening. We have our ascension, you know, we start to really grow spiritually as we are activated through this connection. And we really awaken to our spiritual path. And it's also about sovereignty, coming into our own essence as a divine being. And, you know, we have this number 11 here. So the two twins are on a parallel path. You know, their lives are running on a parallel course. They're always connected. They have that energetic connection running between them. But, you know, in this first phase, when we are breaking down the old template, you know, we are becoming divine sovereign beings. We are aligning with Source. We are aligning with our soul's truth. We are aligning with our own divinity. And that is where, you know, the 11 is a number about awakening. It's that activating code that awakens us to our spiritual journey, to this twin flame journey. So we are, you know, both having our own awakening, our own spiritual path in this first part of the twin flame mission. So, you know, we are still side by side. We are still energetically connected, and we are awakening and moving along on that path of ascension towards our own empowerment, our personal empowerment, you know, becoming the divine sovereign being that we are meant to be. And then we have the rebuilding phase. So after we go through, you know, activating all of the wounding and, you know, all of the triggering and doing that really, really deep healing work, then we start to move into a rebuild phase. So we've broken down the old template, and now we're starting to rebuild based on the new template, which is the divine love template. The old template is, you know, all of the 3D paradigm stuff, all of the codependency, all of the inner child wounding, all of the ancestral wounding, you know, the collective wounding of the masculine, the collective wounding of the feminine, and really deconstructing and destroying that old template. Essentially, it's a death and a rebirth. And so when we are in the rebuilding phase, that is when we start, you know, coming into union, and that is also that union within ourselves. So that's part of the sovereignty, becoming empowered within and balanced within, coming into union within ourselves. And we also move into a place of service. So this is where our mission starts to come in. And, you know, we can be doing that from this place of inner sovereignty within ourselves, where we might not be with our twin just yet, in that harmonious union. But we are cultivating that harmonious union within ourselves, and we are starting to, you know, move into a place of service, move into a place of our individual mission. And this all leads to rebuilding and grounding that new divine love template onto the earth plane, bringing the 5D and grounding that into the 3D. And so then we have, that is what our union is born out of. So, the rebuilding is the coming into union within, the coming into union with our twin, and then moving into service with our twin or, individually. And then we move into that place of harmony and expansion, where we do come into union with our twin. And that is where we can really start to, have use that third energy to start to create healing and transformation on a broad scale for the whole world. And, it's a ripple effect. So the ripple effect is, we start by focusing on healing ourselves. And as we are healing ourselves, we are also healing our twin. And we are also healing our family, our ancestral lineage, and our family members through our own healing. So this is all healing that's happening within ourselves. It's not necessarily that we are directly going to a family member and counseling them and helping them heal. It's just that because we are twin flames and we are carrying this twin flame soul template, this mission in our soul template, we are designed to heal. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. So we are carrying all of the collective stuff when we incarnate and we are taking on, this soul template. We are agreeing to take on all of the healing that needs to happen on a broad scale. So we are within our own being, we carry the energy of the whole cosmos, of all of the collective healing that needs to happen. So it doesn't mean that you have to necessarily be with your twin or directly go to your twin and help them heal something, or that you need to go directly to a family member and say, hey, I can help you heal whatever. It's through your own healing that you are healing your family, you are healing your twin, you are healing your community, you are healing all women all over the world, you are healing all of the men all over the world, you are healing all of humanity, you are healing the planet, you are healing the universe, and you are healing from a place of all timelessness and all time. So you are healing all things forward and you are healing all things backward. So you are healing thousands and thousands and thousands of years of, the old template wounding, and then you are also healing for all of the generations to come. And this is just a sneak peek of how huge this mission really is. It's really mind-blowing when you think about it. And so we just have to remember that the union does not exist just so that we can be happy, It'd be nice. That's the 3D paradigm, like deriving personal pleasure from companionship with someone else, which it's not that, we don't get that, because obviously we do, but it's just that we have to remember that it's just so much more expansive and so much bigger, it's a divine mission. So yeah, as we heal ourselves, we are healing for all of these other things here, and it's very powerful. So the other key piece about, why can't we do the healing work within our union is that this is an alchemical marriage. So twin flame union is an alchemical process, and it is a transformational process, which is basically what alchemy is. Alchemy means transforming something. So it is a transformational love, which is part of what is so beautiful about it. And so, alchemy, if you think about the alchemist, the person who does alchemy, they are transforming lead, which you could also say represents like the heavy, dense 3D energy, into gold, which is, comparable to the 5D energy. So, it's this transformation. We are transforming the 3D into the 5D, and then we are also doing the opposite here, where we are taking the 5D, the gold, and we are transforming that and bringing that into the 3D, which is the lead. So it goes both ways, really. We are transforming the old 3D paradigm into the gold 5D, and then we are also bringing the 5D into the 3D. And I really love using the analogy of a caterpillar and a butterfly. And I did a video, one of my very first videos, and it was called How to Know Where You Are in Your Union Process. And I will put a link for that in the description box below this video, because I feel like, it kind of takes you through the whole process of this ascension cycle and alchemical process of, how this transformational love occurs and what it looks like. But yeah, that video, I use the analogy of the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. And so that is part of the alchemical marriage, the transformation that takes place. So our 3D human self, ego self, our physical vessel that we live in as a human is kind of like being the caterpillar. And then we are going through this alchemical process, this transformational process, through the love that we have. And we are transforming to become the butterfly. And the butterfly represents our divine self and our pure soul. So it's like a process of purification and a process of bringing our higher self more and more into our physical body and aligning more and more with our divine self, which is part of that, process of ascension and becoming a divine sovereign being. So, and then, the union is born out of the transformation that takes place. So, it's the two hearts merging together as one, like the yin-yang kind of concept, through this alchemical, transformational divine love. So I hope that this is all making sense. And, I could probably do a video on each of these individual topics, just because these are all such big topics in and of themselves. So if you would like me to do, a more in-depth video on any of these topics, feel free to let me know. So the alchemical marriage, it's a transformational kind of a love, and it's, when we meet each other, we're like a caterpillar, and then we start activating each other and growing and changing, and, awakening, and it's all of these things are shifting, and all of this healing is happening. And really, another word for healing could be transformation, or transforming. So you could interchange the word healing with transforming. We are doing all of this transforming in order to come into our union, because that is the nature of divine love, is transformative. And so then the other key point that I have here for number 3 is divine alignment. And this is, part of the energetic dance that we are in. And the energetic dance is where we are doing that healing with each other, whether we are, in physical contact with our twin or we are not in physical contact with our twin. And so, it's a process of healing and refining. And so, one thing I meant to mention earlier too, before I got into everything, was there are twins that don't experience separation, and I would say that it's more of the exception than the rule, or more rare to find twins that don't experience the separation. But it is possible to not experience separation. And then I know twins that have been in physical, a conventional marriage or living together and still like really struggling, and energetically they aren't in a place where they are spiritually aligned and balanced within themselves. So the marriage is not sustainable because it's a marriage in like just a conventional 3D sense. They haven't gone through the alchemical process, so the union is not sustainable at that point. So I'm just saying, it can go, this is, there are twins that do get married and they can weather the storms of the alchemical process. And then there are twins that they'll get married and they need to, have time apart to go through this alchemical process. And, part of what I describe in my video about the caterpillar and the butterfly and the union process is, when we are in that really, really deep healing phase, it's like going into the cocoon. And being in that cocoon with your twin and all of like the intense energy of that is like, it would be really, really challenging to be tight in that cocoon doing all of that deep healing work, with your twin in the cocoon with you. I just, it'd be like really tight and there wouldn't be a lot of room to move and there wouldn't be a lot of room to grow and change. You would be like squished in there. And, this is something that, requires having the mental and emotional and psychic space to do all of this really deep, intense healing work. And sometimes being stuffed into that tight little cocoon together, it's really uncomfortable and it could even maybe slow things down a little bit. So sometimes we need that, and that's part of, the way that it's divinely orchestrated is, and why we need to be on the parallel paths for a while. So I hope that makes sense, but the energetic dance is part of, the transformation, the healing, and it's like a process of refinement and fine-tuning things. It's part of each twin soul aligning with Source. And, that goes back to the number 11 there of us, remembering our connection to Source, because with twins we have the third energy. And so we have to align with that third energy, each of us, in order to be aligned with each other. So we are aligning with Source energy through our spiritual path that is moving us towards our soul's truth. So it's like the peeling back the layers of the onion and getting down to the core soul truth, the core essence of who we are. And the ego is like all of that, 3D material stuff, wounding and conditioning, and, stuff that needs to fall away before we can really be in this place of, the butterfly, the pure soul essence. And so union is the answer to the question, who do I want to become? it's not the answer to the question, who do I want to be with? It is the answer to the question, who do I want to become? And so it's about, becoming our best version, aligning with Source, aligning with our soul's truth, and going through this transformational alchemical process in order to get to that place. And so it's becoming, our best version. I know I want to be my best version for when I come together with my twin, and I know he wants to be his best version for me, because that is the nature of the love that we share, is that we want to be able to be our best for each other. And then, we have this beautiful gift of this energetic connection. And, as we are doing our healing work for ourselves, we are also healing our twin. And it's just such a beautiful gift that we can share with our beloved. And vice versa, as they do their work, then they are healing us. So, for me to do this video, for example, I had to do a lot of healing work to be able to sit here in front of you with a whiteboard. My inner child was she was screaming and scared and terrified, and she did not want to do this video. My twin and I, we both struggled with shyness when we were kids, and I think we've both pretty much outgrown it, but it's still really hard for me to be on any kind of like broad public platform like this and show my face. So I had to do a lot of healing work to get here, and I know that through me stepping outside of my comfort zone and healing my inner child and comforting my inner child, that I'm also healing my twin, and that's going to give him strength to rise up and to step out of his comfort zone and to step more and more into his truth. So the more that we are, aligning with our truth, aligning with Source, stepping into, our mission to serve others, even if it terrifies us, stepping outside of our comfort zone and really shining and radiating the truth of who we are, that is all healing our twin. And so, I know that as I am doing my healing work, it is lifting him up and raising him up out of the old paradigm. Our beloved is like stuck in all of the old 3D paradigm conditioning and thinking, and through our healing work, we are helping to lift them up out of those old energies and helping them to, raise their frequency and vibration and to ascend on their spiritual path. And it's kind of like, if they are sinking in quicksand and we are reaching our hand down and we are helping to pull them up out of that quicksand. And, we have these team players too. And, I was thinking about it and just dialoguing with Spirit about it, why do we have to be apart, and why do they have to have other partners or, other people or situations that make it so hard for us to be together? And, with this idea of, well, why can't we just do all of our healing together in union? And so, the answer that I got from Spirit was, that's why we have this gift of the energetic connection, is because we can do it's twins, it's like this broad healing, like I was saying earlier, it's this huge big picture. So it's not just healing that's just for us, it's this universal healing. And so that's part of why we have this energetic connection, is so that we can do more healing on a broader scale, and we can accomplish more when we have these other team players coming in, whether it's work situation stuff or family situational stuff or karmic partners or for me, I've done a lot of healing physically through my physical vessel, through, illness and recovery from chronic illness. So we have like all these other, situations and people that come into play, so that we can still be healing each other through our energetic connection, but bringing in like these other team players to support that healing that needs to happen. Because there's just so much healing that needs to happen that it can't all happen just within the two of us being together. We need to bring in other team players that will help us heal and support our learning and support our spiritual growth and support us in our ascension. And so, when I was thinking about it, I was like, okay, it makes sense that in a 3D, old paradigm kind of a relationship, or like a karmic relationship, those two people are learning all the lessons and doing all the healing just between the two of them, and they don't have an energetic connection between them. So they have to be together in order to get those lessons. And once that lesson is learned and they rise up out of that old consciousness into a new level of consciousness, the relationship is done, it's over, it's accomplished what it needed to accomplish, and the two people go their separate ways and they're done. And so for twin flames, we have that energetic connection there so that we can bring in these other twin team players that can support us in coming together in our union, because it is born out of this alchemical process. It is a transformational love on a very, very broad scale. So the team players are actually very important in supporting us into coming into our union. Oh, and then when I was unwrapping the plastic wrap off of my whiteboard here, I noticed these two magnets. And, this was just a perfect scientific example of, how twins have like this magnetic, energetic connection. And it is, like a law of science. So, when we are not in our full alignment, we can't come together. So it's like these two magnets, I have like their same sides, like let's say this is both their positive, they have the positive polarity and their negative polarity. And, they're out of balance, they're not energetically aligned. So when I try to push them together, they're like pushing apart. Like, I wish you guys could like feel what it feels like, but you could do this at home if you have two magnets. Try putting their same sides together. It's not gonna work. Like, I'm trying to push them together and it's just like not happening. But then, when I have the opposite polarities and, the masculine and the feminine are balanced, they can come together. So that's part of the energetic dance and the refinement of the alignment, is so that we can come together. And it is kind of like, a law of science. We have that magnetic connection. So that kind of wraps up, and I see I'm already at like 34 minutes. So that wraps up, the discussion of why, Spirit didn't design it so that twins could be together and do their healing work together. And I'll show you the cards really quick here. So, I asked Spirit this question, and I got the temple path. And so Spirit is saying with this card that, the temple path is the soul path. It is the divine spiritual path. And we have to remember that, our union and coming into union is a spiritual path. It is a path of ascension. The old paradigm is, that you meet and you fall in love and then you get married and you have kids and you do the thing and the so and so, and it's all happily ever after. This is an alchemical marriage. It's a spiritual path of ascension, and we do rise up, walk up the stairs, rise up into this beautiful, really strong, really stable, beautiful structure that's like unbreakable. Harsh winds can't tear it down. It's this beautiful divine path. And all of the orbs of light here are representing all of the cosmic divine support that we have in this journey, all of the angelic support, all of the support from our spirit guides. We are being supported, and this is a divinely orchestrated path. So we have all of this cosmic support to help bring us together. And then the other card that came up is Archangel Gabriel with the 5th chakra. And, 5th chakra, that's the throat chakra. And, the 5th chakra is all about willpower. And, this journey and this union is not only, our personal will, but it's about making choices through divine will. Thy will be done. And the other thing that I'm getting with this card is, this is about speaking our truth and being authentic. And, in this journey, we talk a lot about, the mask, that we're wearing masks and, taking off the mask. So what that means is really, aligning with our soul's truth to where we are also speaking our truth. Speaking our soul's truth, communicating from a place of our heart and our soul and not the ego, and really being, genuine and authentic with each other, being in that place where you can just totally relax and be yourself and, be fully aligned with your partner, and just, talk about anything and everything and just be yourself. And, live from this place of authenticity. And so in order to arrive to this place, this is part of, what we arrive at when we go through this transformational process, this alchemical process. And then we have Angel of Balance. And so with Angel of Balance, I feel like, this is, we see these really strong pyramids back here. And so that to me represents like that third energy. And it also represents, the mind and the body and the heart. Let's see, no, wait. The body would be like the heart. So the mind and the heart and the soul. And so it's a process of self-mastery. We have to be have this really strong, solid foundation of balance within the mind, and then balance within the heart, and then balance on a spiritual soul level as well. And so, for example, I know for me, I had a lot of imbalance that was emotional imbalance. And I would just get so deeply emotionally thrown out of balance, especially whenever my twin triggered me. And so I've really, done a lot of healing through that process. And so now I have much more of, balance within my heart as well as within my mind. And for the Divine Masculine, a lot of the Divine Masculine, they have a split between their heart and their mind where, on a soul level and in their heart, they know that they love this person, but there's an imbalance there in the mind where, their mind and their heart are out of balance and disconnected. And so it's healing all of that and creating a really solid, strong foundation that is very balanced, creating a really solid foundation within your 3D life as well as your spiritual life. And then we have yin yang. And so, this is representing the union within. We have this is the yin, the feminine, and then we have the masculine. And the yin, she has her fiery masculine dot inside her, and then he has his blue, cool, watery yin energy within him. So, they are sovereign beings and whole within and of themselves, and then when they come into union, it creates like this cosmic explosion, of all of this divine light. And so it's a process of balancing the feminine and masculine qualities within ourself, and then coming together in this harmonious union. And it's like two puzzle pieces. If the feminine isn't balanced and she still is in a distorted energy of the feminine, she's not going to fit. Or if he is still in a distorted masculine energy, the two aren't going to fit together like the two puzzle pieces that perfectly match. So it's through that alchemical marriage and divine alignment that, they are shifting their shape and getting into balance so that they can come together in a harmonious union. And then healer of the ages. So we are healers of the ages as twin flames. Like I said, we are healing for, on a small scale for ourselves and our twin, and on a larger scale for, all of humanity and the planet and the universe. And it's throughout all time. So it's healer of the ages. So this is much, much bigger than we could ever imagine. And then the final card and the healing, I have a healing here for us, is ascended, or wait, this is the wrong page. I was reading through it earlier. I just absolutely love this deck. This is number 24, Ascended Master Mary Magdalene and Aqua Aura Quartz. This is from the Crystal Oracle, I think is the name of the deck. And Divine Alchemy. So I'm going to read from the book here because I think that this gives a really amazing, beautiful description of divine alchemy. And that it will help give you more of a understanding and clarity about what divine alchemy is. It says, "We bring you the blessing of divine alchemy. Divine alchemy is the art of transmutation, the application of spiritual consciousness into physical form, so profound that an entirely new form evolves." So that's going back to the caterpillar and the butterfly. "It is irreversible change. It is the coal transformed into the diamond, the lead of sleeping matter awakened into the radiant gold of consciousness. Successful alchemical transformation requires patience, courage, and a belief in the power of spirit above all else." So that's that alignment, divine alignment with Source. "The radical and permanent transformation effected by divine alchemy may seem miraculous to the outsider viewing the changed form. Yet the alchemist knows that when spiritual consciousness meets physical matter, the world will never be the same again." So this is, part of what we are doing is we are going through this deep transformational process that is a permanent process. Once you gain consciousness, you can't revert back. And, this is uniting the spiritual with the physical and grounding the 5D consciousness onto the earth plane. And also, bringing the divine self more and more into our human physical body. I think I'm going to leave it at that because this video is already 45 minutes long. There's a lot more that I could read on this, and if you guys want to learn more about this, I would be happy to, read this whole, all this information along with the healing. It's really beautiful. So anyway, on that note, I hope that this was helpful, and I am open to receiving more of your questions. If there's something about this that you want to learn more, or you just have another topic that you want to get more clarification and understanding about, feel free to leave a comment. I'm going to leave another video. I'm feeling guided right now. Archangel Michael channeled message that can also help you with the bigger picture, because Archangel Michael came through to me when I first started my channel, and so I'm going to leave a link for that, as well as the how to know where you are in your union process that kind of describes some of this alchemical process. And I hope that this was helpful, and I look forward to doing some more of these type of videos for you guys. And next week we have the full moon in Virgo, March 1st, March 2nd. So I will be doing another reading for the collective soon, so we can see what energies are, what the energies are looking like for this upcoming full moon. And yeah, I hope that you guys are doing well, and I am sending you all so much love and so much light, and wishing you many, many blessings in your twin flame journey. Take care.